presence of Mr. Lester Nestor, the Program Manager of St. Lucia Citizenship by Investment Program. We're going to ask him some interesting questions. Welcome to Dubai, sir.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's always a pleasure to be in Dubai. It's my third visit to Dubai. And it's also a pleasure meeting you, Sam, as well. So let me just say thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this interview. And hopefully we can have some frank discussions, and I can give you and the viewers an appreciation of St. Lucia's program specifically. What are some of the challenges that we're facing, and what are some of the things that we're doing to make this program very efficient and hopefully one of the best in the region.
Well, you are one of the latecomer in this industry, either the Caribbean or either the European side of it. But just to make things in perspective, can you give us a brief summary of your program?
Great, thanks. I'll gladly do that. You are right, we are quite youthful in the program. It's about 3 years that we've been in the program. But you know, there's something about being youthful. It means that you have a lot more vigor. It means that you also have a clear view of the future. So there are some advantages for us in being young in the industry. And one of the hallmarks of being young in the industry is a sense that we have seen what has happened in the past. We've seen where some of the islands and some of the countries who have been in this program for decades, some of the errors that they have made. And we've learned from those errors. And hopefully we've learned from some of the strengths of those countries as well. And hopefully with those weaknesses, those strengths, we are able to take those on board and hopefully make something very good about this program. The program, the hallmark of this program is really focused on the pillar of due diligence. And it was very interesting, Sam, that at the panel discussion that you were at, it was absolutely heartwarming to hear you and your fellow panelists speak about the importance of due diligence that you call for in regulations of the industry, whether it's self or imposed. And it was really heartwarming to hear those kinds of discussions, because as CEO of the Citizenship by Investment Program for St. Lucia, I really think that is where we should be going. So the program is really hinges on ensuring that we know who those applicants are. We don't have the pleasure or the opportunity to see those applicants face to face. And our knowing of those applicants is based on the information that they have submitted to us. And therefore, to do this and to be able to be in a position to say that we are comfortable in granting this citizenship, we go through a process. The process starts from the point in which this application is submitted to us, trying to create a profile as to who this guy is, or who this person is, sorry. And then we take it a bit further. We then hire a third-party due diligence firm to undertake a greater in-depth of this individual. And of course, you know, one of the highlights of some of those third-party due diligence firms is what is called the business intelligence component, where they go out and they get to know where this person lives. They get to know who are the associates. They get to know who they eat with. And those things are very important to us. But Sam, you know, there's one element of this which third parties can never give us, and that is the intelligence information that law enforcement can provide us with. They can't give us this. So therefore, our next step is to seek the assistance of our law enforcement to give us a better appreciation from an intelligence perspective as to who those applicants are. And it is only after we've gotten this intelligence information, we've gotten this third-party information, we have our profile of who we think this person is. At that stage, this application is then presented to our board to make a decision. So I am not part of, I can only recommend, and the board grants, the board denies. So there is that level of transparency in the program, which is paramount, extremely paramount. And I think your group spoke about this. So Sam, in essence, I think at this stage, the program hinges solely, not solely, but very forcefully, very strongly on due diligence. And I think it's going to be the hallmark for every other program that exists in this region when it comes to citizenship by investment.
But staying on the same issue, do you think pan-regionally, with other programs in your region, the 4 other programs, do you think you could maybe talk with them to coordinate maybe applications? Because at one point there was a question, if they don't apply, if they get refused into a program, can they apply into a second one without informing the second program they've been refused? Do you think there could be some discussions between your programs?
Yes. You know, Sam, I think it again. It is really the way we should go. It's really the next step. It is really the best step. Because what we want to do is to maintain the integrity of the program. We want to maintain the integrity of our passports, and the sharing of information really helps in that area. I think it's a process. Sometimes things don't happen instantly, but I think as a region, we've discussed it. As a region, we have seen the importance of that sharing of information. So if someone is denied their citizenship in St. Lucia, that St. Lucia can share that information with Grenada, that Grenada can share it with Dominica, and therefore we are all from the same melting pot. But Sam, I think one of the issues that may sometimes blur the importance of all of those issues that we've spoken about here today is the programs are so competitive among ourselves. It is so competitive. It is a revenue generating component for a lot of those islands in regard to foreign direct investment. And sometimes that can be blurred. But I think we all must understand that if we want to maintain this program, the sharing of information will be important. Having due diligence be the hallmark of this program is going to be important. So all of those things will ensure that there is integrity for the program, integrity for the passports, and hopefully the longevity of the program.
Those are good factors, and I think it talks about today and tomorrow. What about applicants? I mean, some programs tend to distinguish between who can apply and who cannot apply. How is it in St. Lucia? At the moment, anyone can apply, and any future restrictions maybe?
Mm-hmm. You know, for St. Lucia, there's absolutely no restrictive list. I think the restrictiveness comes in, as you know, the banking institution do undertake their own due diligence processes. They all have their own restricted list, the US sanctioned OFAC list. And there are times, even if we have no restriction in regard to who can apply or who should apply, sometimes the challenges is when those persons from those restricted lists are to transfer funds through those banks. That's where the issue comes in. But we have absolutely no restrictive list in respect to who applies.
Good processing time. I know there's a slight backlog with your program, and the processing is not as it should be according to industry standards. Mm-hmm. What is your ideal time, or what are you trying to achieve in terms of processing these applications from submission till citizenship is granted?
Look, I'm really happy that you asked this question, because I think this interview could not have ended without you asking this question. So I'm really happy to respond to this question. Look, Sam, if I had the opportunity to go back, I would remove the issues of timing in regard to granting of citizenship. Citizenship is not a right. It is a privilege that one country bestows on another. And if we understand that it's a privilege, why should we put a time limit to privilege? However, let me say this. This is customer focus. So surely, if someone applies for citizenship, you need to be able to tell them that within a specific time period, there's a likelihood of you getting that citizenship. So I understand that part of it, the commercial side of it, and I understand the customer relations side of it. In the case of St. Lucia, unfortunately or fortunately, we are not prepared to make a decision outside of getting all of the due diligence information on the table to make that decision. And therefore, we've said to the market that we're hoping to give a decision within a 90-day period.
That's good.
Yes. The reality of it is we have no control over the law enforcement component of our due diligence. We can't say to the police that we need this information immediately because the police themselves depend on external individuals or entities or authorities to provide them with that information. But of course, we have been having discussions with the law enforcement and saying, how can you assist us in speeding up that process? And Sam, I can say very loudly that the law enforcement have recognized the commercial side of this business. They understand how important it is to St. Lucia. And I can see a complete turnaround in respect to our processing time. But I think, Sam, and that's why I think this question is so important, I think in the issue of processing time, I think the promoters, the authorized agents, have a role to play in this. They need to be able to engage those clients and to control and to manage, sorry, not control, but to manage their own expectations and to know that when you get a passport from St. Lucia, you have a good thing.
Thank you very much, Victor.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.